Policy Circle was founded in 2015, and it really came out of several women realizing there was a void. And that there was a void in terms of their ability to really get educated on public policy, the impact that it has, and even more so forums where they could gather and convene to have productive, kind of solutions-oriented conversations. And so what started in 3 living rooms in Indianapolis and in the burbs of Chicago is now in 44 states. We have about 13,000 members around the country. And at the heart of the Policy Circle, we want to inform and equip women to be really impactful local leaders. And we do this in a number of ways, which I can share with you as we continue to talk. But I can tell you that what we're seeing is sort of an undeniable awakening around the country. And women perhaps that in the past may have sort of deferred to the expert or stayed on the sidelines, now they want to get informed and they want to step in to positions of leadership. And the Policy Circle is really a way for them to get equipped and to have a framework and really a network of allies so that they can do that in a way that's really impactful. Well, in the Policy Circle, we really believe that women typically, they're not going to weigh into a debate on an issue unless they're fully informed. We sometimes joke that men will sleep at a Holiday Inn and then they're an expert on a certain measure of policy. Well, we know that women want to know all the facts, and so we achieve that in a few ways. One is our Policy Circle brief. This is kind of at the heart of what we do. And so we have about 60 briefs right now ranging on topics from the Middle East to mental health, financial literacy, and foreign policy. And so what we do is we prepare these very approachable multimedia briefs, and that people can spend 20-30 minutes, engage with this material. If they want, they can click on every single fact. It's open sourced. But to get a really clear picture, what's the historical context around this issue? How did we get here? What are the proposed reforms? But most importantly, every single one of our briefs is directed towards what can you do, right? It's one thing to read about it. It's another to have a conversation. But at the end of the day, what we want to see is action. And so through that informing and then convening. Okay, so we are great conveners. We're going to pat ourselves on the back because what we have found is that when you gather, 3-4 women, or whether you gather 300 or 400, what we can do is there's power in those conversations and practicing your ability to articulate your thoughts on a complex issue, develop your own talking points. So really we have a nationwide network that gives people opportunities to convene. And then I would say lastly, one of our initiatives that we have seen that is incredibly empowering is the Civic Leadership Engagement Roadmap. And this is a proprietary 3-month program that we've developed. It's really open to any woman that's interested in this. But they learn some fundamental things about our government, civics, the Constitution, but more importantly than just the learning piece, they have to go do something. So then they go into their community, they develop town hall relationships. And so what we're seeing out of that is women are running for office. Women are raising their hands for task force and commissions. And then they're taking on all kinds of leadership roles because they feel informed and ready. And so that's an outcome of that initiative that we've been really pleased with. It's only been going for a year and a half. Education is what we hear about probably more than anything else. And they're not just one facet of that. We hear a lot of women that are concerned about the inequality that really was highlighted during the pandemic. We see a lot of women that want more choices in how they educate their children. I think a lot of people were sort of, they just defaulted, right, to the typical system that we had in place. And now that they've seen, oh, my child learns better in different environments, or, those that were fortunate enough to have a learning pod are like, wow, okay, tailoring to learning styles or to certain goals. And so what I think we're going to see, hopefully, is more innovation, more disruption in that space, and giving parents more autonomy to make decisions about how their kids should be educated and what works best for their family. So that is a big issue. Safety, we're hearing that over and over again, especially for the folks that live in major metropolitan areas. They're very concerned about current trends as it relates to violent crime. And I think they're looking now, though, honestly, what are the root causes? And that's when you start getting into bigger issues, right? And looking at economic opportunity. I think what we hear over and over again from women around the country is that if we're educating our kids and we're providing more economic opportunity for everyone, you see less issues when it comes to safety. And so those are 3 that I think we hear about the most. But we have a really broad group of individuals, and we recently released a brief on the Russia and Ukraine war. There's really no way that we can have sort of dialogue about what's going on in this country without recognizing the enormous humanitarian crisis that's unfolding there as well. So we're actually about to release a brief on how we respond to the refugee crises, because there's more than one. So I think there's varied interest, but those are the ones that we find people are talking about the most. And what I think is remarkable is women are resourceful. I don't have to tell you that, right? And so we've got this really enormous group of resourceful, creative women who I think are ready to harness whatever tools they can to better their community. And I think that, you know, leveraging technology is critical. I think good data behind policy making is essential. One of the things that we try to highlight at the Policy Circle is making sure that you are digging into the appropriate data sources, asking the right questions. And I think, again, technology is vital to opening the doors, making sure that people are asking the right questions, getting access so they make decision, right, on the appropriate data points, and then also measuring it. I think technology, and there's so much innovation in our ability to interact and then measure whether or not certain solutions are working. And so I think harnessing some of those two facets, right, of technology, I think we're just going to continue to see more and more of that. Believe in yourself. You know more than you think you know, you can do more than you think you can do, and be willing to step up and let your voice be heard. But I'd say before you step up and let your voice be heard, be prepared. Be informed so that you can be a credible and effective leader, and you can build relationships with people around you because you walk in and you know what you're talking about and you're ready to take action. So I would just say, just take hold of sort of your courage and step into the unknown, because I think that's where we're going to see amazing things happen, not only for women, but for all of our communities.